Hey Tamzansi, welcome back to SA Political Lens. Yo, today, President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa actually surprised me.
Shocked me, John, because this Cyril with a backbone, I don't know where he was hiding him.
Exactly. Because the man stood up in front of the world and basically said, with or without the United States, the G20 declaration is moving forward. South Africa will not be bullied.
The talks are going extremely well. I'm confident we are moving towards a declaration, and they are now just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Well, without the United States, the whole process of the G20 is moving forward. We will not be bullied. We will not agree to be bullied. Thank you.
Thank you. That's the Cyril we wanted sitting in the Oval Office, not the gentle, yes, Mr. President guy.
We needed this version of him back then. The one who actually says, hey, respect us, we're not your junior partner.
Because honestly, Donald Trump must focus on sorting out his own mess. That whole Epstein situation, he must deal with that instead of threatening other countries.
Exactly. Sort out your scandals first before you start chest dumping internationally.
And the funniest part, the US tried that we're boycotting the G20 stunt.
Only for sources to confirm they've now broken their own boycott and want to rejoin the summit discussions.
I can confirm that SABC has reliably learned that the United States of America now wants to participate at the G20 summit. We are not clear yet in terms of how will this play itself, in terms of how they want this participation to happen, whether they would want to send staff from the embassy. As you know that the attaché currently is acting ambassador in Pretoria at the highest level. That is the highest level. And therefore, we don't know whether that will be a delegation that will be participating, or perhaps the country is thinking of sending some diplomats from Washington. We look at perhaps the summit starting on Saturday. If they do decide to send someone, we know that there are many Air Force planes that are being used to transport senior White House Secretary of State, the administration. And therefore, we don't know at which level, but it is true now the United States of America is breaking its boycott, because it is a boycott, because remember President Trump himself indicated that no official from the United States of America will participate at the summit. It wasn't about J.D. Vance, the VP, or himself. It was also related to any official. And therefore, one did expect that no one will be at Nazareth to participate. But I'm not surprised. You'd recall that yesterday we heard that the U.S. is trying to stop the meeting or the summit to adopt a declaration. And I can tell you from reliable source, there's huge progress in terms of finalizing that declaration, because when you look at the finance track, it was a coup for South Africa some months ago when ministers of finance and central bank governors agreed on a declaration and on very funny issues, including the debt, not cancellation, the debt that we talk about as it relates to poorer countries and developing countries. And therefore, when I spoke to Minister of Finance exclusively on Tuesday, he did point out that indeed, from his side, his stream as finance minister, he is just waiting for Minister Ronald Lamola, who deals with hardcore political issues that often derail the summit, so that they can combine the two and come up with a comprehensive declaration that will be signed or that will be adopted by leaders. We know that declaration is not negotiated by leaders. It's negotiated by officials by ministers, by secretaries of state. The officials, what they do is just ceremonial to adopt that declaration. I was told last night that there's great progress, and they are looking at item line by line because they don't want to leave anything to chance. And I think there's progress, but because you'd recall a few hours ago, President Ramaphosa spoke about progress as it relates to the work of the summit, and you could see the confidence. And that, for me, was a clear indication that our sources are giving us correct information.
Yeah.
We, we have received notice from the United States, a notice which we are still in discussions with them over, about a change of mind about participating in one shape, form, or other in the summit. So the discussions are still ongoing. This comes really at the late hour before the summit begins. And so therefore we do need to engage in those types of discussions to see how practical it is and what it finally really means. In a way, we see this as a positive sign, very positive, because, as I've often said, boycott politics never work. It's always best to be inside the tent than being outside of the tent. The tent is G20, all countries are here, and the United States, being the biggest economy in the world, needs to be here. So it's pleasing to hear that there is a change of approach, and so we are still discussing how that will manifest.
Hi, Bo. So you boycott, then unboycott yourself? Make it make sense, America.
At this point, we must just say, yeah, come or don't come, that's your problem.
The train is moving with or without you, babes. South Africa isn't waiting.
But you know what I like? For once, Cyril spoke like a leader of a sovereign state, not a guest trying to impress the big powers.
Yes, like finally acknowledging that SA has influence, has alliances, has options, and doesn't need to tiptoe around the US.
We're not the 51st American state.
Exactly. And the US now realizing they're being left out? Yo, that must sting.
Imagine being the one throwing the tantrum only to come back like, hey guys, so, can we talk?
The G20 must just say, you're welcome, sit quietly at the back.
Mzansi, this is a rare moment where South Africa stood firm internationally. Hopefully Cyril keeps this energy.
Because if he spoke like this in the Oval Office, things would have looked very different.
Anyway, let us know in the comments, did Cyril finally redeem himself today?
SA Political Lens, signing out.